What is going on, guys? DBG, and today we're going to be talking again just about the game mode of NBA 2K22 MyTEAM, because that's something that I kind of like to do on this channel, and it's not necessarily something that I've done a lot of this year, and it is answering the question of, is NBA 2K23 MyTEAM pay to win? And a lot of people are saying it's the most pay to win MyTEAM ever, and I'm going to argue heavily against that statement right there. I think it is in fact the least, and not even close, the least pay to win MyTEAM ever. However, if you are someone that is making that argument because you are literally equating money to time, and you got a point, then you have got a huge point when it comes to NBA 2K23 MyTEAM. Just, I'm out of focus right now. Hopefully get back. It's a little bit of focus there. There we go. So anyway, lads, a big thing with MyTEAM is that this is the most grindy MyTEAM ever. This is the least casual friendly MyTEAM ever, and it's not even close. And a lot of people are like, oh, but like every year is the least casual friendly. Nah, man, nah. And a lot of the time people are like, arguing for no budget players. First of all, it's because we got no really budget point guards. And then they, if people want to argue, oh, we got Tony Parker. Tony Parker sucks, man. Tony Parker sucks. And then another player people like to argue is Marcus Smart. Do you guys know how much Marcus Smart is right now? If you guys want Marcus Smart and you're just starting off this game, you're paying 30k. Like, oh, he's only 23k. That's not actually bad. He was legitimately like 35k. I actually saw him a couple days ago, he was up to 50, but it was kind of crazy. But this is the most grindy MyTEAM ever. And then a lot of people again are arguing like, oh, trophy case cards are budget cards. No, they're not. There is one trophy case card that is not that difficult to get, and it's the unlimited one, because basically everyone's guaranteed one. Everyone's basically guaranteed one because of, even if you didn't start off the game because of the agendas, they're really easy to get. Just go with the unlimited one. You'll get a card very easily. Centerpieces. And for guys like myself who've been playing the whole year, it's been really fine. It hasn't been that hectic a grind. But if you came in late, or you're a person who only plays the game on weekends, you only play this game a couple days a week, yeah, you're screwed. I cannot put that out. I cannot say that any more loudly. You're screwed. But the funny thing is that it's not that you're screwed in a way of you can pay your way back in. Like, Hall of Fame credit card squads are not real things. Like, if you have the most expensive team in the game, your team's gonna be fine. Like, the most expensive team in the game right now is probably Ja point guard. What's Ja going for? Yeah, it's gonna be Ja point guard for like probably 600k-ish. Shooting guard, I don't know, or maybe it's Steph Curry a point guard. Steph Curry is about 800k. Shooting guard, maybe Vince, maybe like Jordan probably. I'd say Jordan, 600k. Small forward Tatum, 600k, like Tatum and Jordan. And then power forward, I don't even know, Garnett, like 800k. And center Wilt probably. Wilt 600k ish. So like you're still looking like 1.4 million, 2.5. You're still looking at like a near 3 million starting five. And the crazy thing is that in fact that starting five is not nearly as good as if you grind out the 5 centerpieces and you were able to build a starting five based on that. So if you want to make the argument that MyTEAM is pay to win, I think it's as far the opposite as we've ever seen. But there is no payment, there's no wallet gap. There is a grind gap. And a lot of people are going to make the argument of that's the way it should be. And I actually see the merit to that argument. But what it has done is it has obviously driven off a lot of the casual players, because if you got 5 trophy case cards, there is no way any sort of casual player is even coming close to competing. But what it has allowed people to do is it has allowed the guys who consistently play this game a lot to get the best players in the game without spending money. And then obviously that's obviously a huge thing. So I think a lot of people just parrot the same phrases over and over again, because the argument that budget players aren't good is not based in the fact that not only the budget players weren't as good as this time last year, because that's just not the case. Because I looked at the guys this time last year, and like it's not like we have budget players that are that much worse than say Sapphire Cam Reddish last year. It's that the cards we've gotten in the trophy case are way too good. That budget players cannot compete with trophy case cards. And the cards we've gotten in packs aren't even nearly as good as that. The guys that make the game broken are the trophy case cards. The trophy case cards are the guys that are unguardable. And then also like your Cade Cunningham. There's no pay gap. If you have infinite money, you're still not going to have anywhere near the best My Team this year. You just got to have infinite time. You got to have infinite time on this game to have a chance. And where the issue stems from that is that if you don't have the time to grind out this game like it's a part-time job, you're kind of getting left in the dust. So if you come into this game in November, I think you're screwed. Like 2K's got to do a better job of, like, you can't even come into this game in December, drop a boatload of money and have a chance. And that's kind of where the mad thing is. And I think it's in fact a weird situation that I always said it, and it's like, the game, My Team being paid to win is not the worst thing in the world, because like money, obviously you're not coming up against like a big pay to win squad that often. I don't come up against them anyway, but if you're there like playing against guys that are sweating their ass off at this game, you're playing against guys who just have too much time on their hands or play this game a lot as their only real, like, as their main kind of outlet, you're not only screwed from a skill perspective, if you are better than them skill wise. This is what I always say, reps are everything. Like if I come up against a guy 15 points worse than me, running 5 trophy case cards, I'm gonna get bopped. If I don't run like the best cards in the game, or I don't run my actual team, I'm gonna get popped. Which is why like I'm not playing the 250k tournament, because I actually don't feel like I have a squad that can compete in 250k. Last year, I was like an hour and a half in, was like 9 in the world, and lost to a guy named Jackda who had the best team in the game. Like, if I get Cade, I think I have a chance. But like my squad right now, like I've put a lot of money into this game. I have put a lot of money and a hell of a lot of time into this game. And like, I feel like my squad is like almost inadequate. Because if I come up against, I'm okay with the point guards, but I feel like when I come up against like a Big Z or stuff, I'm kind of screwed. Or if I come up against a Worthy, I got no answer for Worthy. Even though I could have probably picked Worthy. But when I use, whatever about this squad, if I use my No Money Spent account and I've evoed a bunch of the Shades Off cards, I've spent quite a bit of time. I've spent probably 20-30 hours on that account. Actually no, that's a lie. I've spent about 15 hours on that account, because a lot of that was early, couldn't get the trophy case cards, and I was like, you know what, I'm never gonna have time for a centerpiece, so what am I gonna do? I'm gonna try grind up some MT, I'm gonna try grind up some other things, and it was absolutely worthless. It was actually worth next to nothing. It was absolutely worthless doing that. So do I think that what is known as the budget player is getting left further behind than ever? Yes. I think the guy who plays the game casually, who plays the game a little bit, a couple of times a week, is getting left further behind this year than they were last year. I think if you're good at the game, you could play this game in short spurts. Like what I used to do in 2K20 was like, what I did in 2K20, I used to do was I would like get accounts with nothing on them. I would get them, and within like 4 hours, feel like I could come up with a team that I could go 12-0 and unlimited. Whereas now, no matter how good I am, like I'm actually pretty damn good at this game. Like I don't care what anyone says, like my record right now, outside of games where I've loaded in player locked or used golds, is 23-2. I'm 23-2 this year. I'm pretty damn good at this game. I've played some really, really good players, and I've forced them into first quarter rage quits. I'm pretty damn good at this game. But the issue is that I feel like I'm only good at this game because of certain cards. And that this is the first time I feel like if I don't use these good cards, not only is it going to be more difficult for me to win, because it's always the case. It's always the case where if you don't have the best cards, it's more difficult to win. But it used to be a case of, okay, if you've got worse cards, that you could like strategize more, and you could still beat a worse player who had better cards. Now you're screwed. Now you are, if you have bad cards, you are screwed. Like if you are running a 50k squad, if you are going for an all auction house 50k squad, you're screwed. You're screwed. Straight up, you are screwed. But it's not a money issue. Because if you want to put in $1,000 into this game, into VC, you're probably not going to be able to even afford, because of how expensive cards are, you're still going to be using like amethyst and diamonds, even with $1,000, which is the craziest thing ever, isn't it? That you can put $1,000 into this game and you're still stuck running amethyst, diamonds, and maybe 1 to 2 pink diamonds. You're still kind of screwed as well. No matter how much money you put in, if you are coming up against a person who has enough reps in this game, who has played enough of this game to build up a trophy case cards, and like a Donovan Mitchell and stuff, you're screwed. No matter how much money you put in. So the argument that my team is pay to win has been so thrown out the window. This is not a game where you can pay your way to the top. You have to mindlessly grind your way to the top. I know you guys might be saying like, oh, but like players should be like encouraged to play the game modes, and I actually do kind of agree with that. But like the fact that there's 150 TT offline, 250 TT offline games involved in this, clutch time offline is involved with this, you gotta mindlessly grind. Unlimited involves a little bit of brain. TTO is just the biggest joke of a game mode ever. Clutch time, the court's way too small. It plays awful, and you know, and like you've got to split your time through that. And then there's like 20 hours of mindlessly grinding. So yeah, lads, there's no pay, there's no wallet cap this year. If you are playing as the dude who just bought his team, they're not going to be that good. If you're playing as the guy who has devoted his entire life to mindlessly grinding this game, their cards are going to be so good that you don't stand a chance with a budget squad. So no pay gap, no wallet gap, but a huge time gap. A huge time gap. If you know life this game, you are at such a big advantage. No matter how much more quote-unquote skilled your opponent is, if you know life the game and they don't, you're going to beat them every single time. So that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.